Let's get into some of the stories. I think let's start off with the baseball story.
Oh, okay. See, this is we've been off for a few weeks, but we're still in sync, dude. This is exactly what I was.
Great minds. We're lockstep with each other. So since you got the scoop on that, I'm gonna let you take the lead on it.
Yeah. So obviously, I talked about in baseball. For those of you who are baseball fans, or at the very least Dodger fans, there was the news that broke out about the Houston Astros cheating scandal, and it's not just because they're doing like sign stealing, and obviously if you're doing that within the game's parameters, like you have a guy on second, and he sees like, hey, the pitch, he sees the signs from the catcher, and he's able to kind of catch on to what they're doing and relays that to his teammates, and they use that to help them win that game. All good, innovative. But that's not what they were doing. They were having cameras up in the rafters or wherever, and they were relaying those messages in real time down to the dugout, and they were had these like little codes and banging on trash cans, I heard also stories that they had like these had like little sensors on them so that they would like buzz them, like, oh, it's fastball, like they'll buzz them once, or if it's a breaking ball, they'll buzz them twice. It's kind of, and it's like, that's...
Wow, really? It was like that sophisticated a system?
Yeah, and that's not... See, that's not innovative. That's not doing... Because obviously you're always trying to push the rules to your advantage up to, like, you're not breaking them, but you're bending them. That's
right. You're basically getting your nose, like, just over the line.
Of course. That every athlete, every sports team, no matter what the sport is, you're always going right to that limit.
Yeah.
But this is like just fuck the rules. We're just
right. Yeah. This is a gross, like, this is just flagrant. It's flagrant, is what it is.
Yeah. So now there is resolution that actually just came out this week. So it's kind of great that we came back when we did. And it looks as though so they were fined the maximum. I guess I didn't realize this point, that there's only a certain amount that they can actually be fined based off the MLB constitution, and so they were fined the maximum allowable fine, which is $5 million, which is like, that in alone is kind of a slap on the wrist. Like, what the fuck? That doesn't seem right. But something that I was looking for is that draft picks were taken away. I think there was a couple years worth of first and early round draft picks taken away, which definitely hurts a team. I don't know if any of the international pool money was taken away, which is that's money that's used to scout and sign players outside of the United States. So if players from the Dominican, Panama, Puerto Rico, wherever they're coming from, although Puerto Rico is within the U.S. technically, but like anywhere that's outside the United States, there's certain money that's allowed to be used, because they had to kind of cut the spending in that side of it. So there's only like a certain amount each team can use, and I don't know if any of that was taken away. But here's where I think they had the general manager, the former assistant general manager, which is that Tobin guy that we talked about, who was fired, and I think is part of the team that was one of the anonymous leakers of this story, because he got fucked over. He and the manager were suspended for a year, but the owner, Jim Crane of the Houston Astros, ended up just firing them after that, just kind of cut ties with them. But here's another aspect of it. Through this investigation, it's also looking like the team that won the World Series the next year after that, that played the Dodgers again, the Red Sox, also is in trouble. and it's the manager of the Red Sox, Alex Cora, who was at the time a bench coach with the Astros in 2017, moved over to the Astros managing position in 2018, and looks like a lot of the same shit was happening over at the Red Sox as well. And it's looking at MLB hasn't come down on him just yet, but it's looking like it's probably going to be about the same type of punishment for him. And the owner just fired Alex Cora from the Red Sox position because he's probably going to be suspended for a year. And who knows who else is going to how it's going to hurt the Red Sox as well.
Damn.
And so it's it might be kind of the same punishment, I think. And hopefully this will be something where if there's any sort of like this will become kind of one of the next kind of cardinal rule, the cardinal sin in baseball, that if we even sniff that you're doing this, this is the punishment, this is what's happening, and that puts an end to it. Because I don't want this is a stain on the game. Just like performance-enhancing drugs were, just like the mob betting, the mob trying to get into baseball with all the betting scandals back at the turn of the century.
Right.
And it's like you just get rid of these guys. That's what you have to do, and it kind of keeps it like, oh shit, they're serious about this. Like we just don't even go near that. We don't do that anymore. And yeah, it's nuts, man. It's still kind of bittersweet because, would we have been more competitive? Would we have gotten our ass kicked like we did in 2018 against the Red Sox? Could we have won that one? What hurts more with the 2017 World Series is because it was so goddamn close. It went to a Game 7, and there was a few games. It's like we probably should have won those games. And it's like we could have been a World Series champion. We weren't. And it's just it's where I guess, and a lot of people saying like, oh, why aren't the Dodgers saying anything? Maybe they're part of it too. And I don't know if that's true or not, but what it sounds like is that MLB put a gag order on on all the teams that says that they can't talk about this to the media and stuff until. Actually, even after the ruling, there's like they're not allowed to talk about it. It's like it's just kind of like we're done with it. It's where MLB's handling it. Don't say shit. So
right. Well, yeah, I mean that kind of makes sense in a way because if you're if it's constantly in the media or it's like constantly being brought up, then it's just it's something that's never gonna die. And also, like there won't be what is it? There won't be a chance for that particular wound to heal. So I kind of understand the idea behind the gag order on the Dodgers or any other like players. But yeah, that's some like fucking shady shit.
Yeah, it is.
Right. I mean, at first, we just thought it was like Astros, but then all of a sudden, the Red Sox too.
Yeah, and it's like who knows? Would any of these would the teams have made it to the World Series? We don't know. Would they? Would the Dodgers have been beaten as badly as they did in 2018? We don't know. And the thing is, it is not just the Dodgers. I say this as a baseball fan. It's like every fan of every team that like like the Yankees should be pissed off because the Astros beat them in 2017 to get to the World Series.
Right.
That the Yankees were a good team.
Mm-hmm.
Did they get cheated out of a chance to go to the World Series?
Mm-hmm.
And or even any of the other American League teams like the Yankees were one in there. I mean, you got all these teams that maybe they could have made the playoffs. Had it not been if they had gotten a couple more wins by playing the Red Sox or the Astros, could they have made the playoffs? Could they have got extra revenue for their team, to help their team continue on and get better? We just don't know how many teams were affected. And it's like a fan of any team, especially in the American League, should be fucking furious. And
Word.
especially it's like for teams like even as an Astros or Red Sox fan, I'd be ashamed because the Astros that was like their first World Series, and it's like, well, now it's stained. Like, yeah, we won it, but there's this stain attached to it. And the Red Sox, obviously, it's not as bad for the Red Sox, I guess, because they have won, several world. They've won 3 other World Series in the 21st century, but so it's not as bad for them. It's like, oh, it's just this one World Series has a little bit of an asterisk. But for the Astros, especially, it's like, man, this is our World Series. We finally won it, and now it's like it doesn't mean anything.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's that's more of a shame. That's just more of a shame than to have been annihilated in the World Series. It's just it's just really sad. I can't.
Yeah. So I am kind of glad that it wasn't just like a slap on the wrist. Like it's actually
right. At least they're taking a stance and making sure that everyone knows that this sort of thing isn't going to be tolerated, and there are definitely consequences to being assholes, basically.
But yeah, so like I said, I'm happy there's a conclusion. It doesn't take away the fact that we still lost both those World Series. Even if they were to say like, oh well, the Dodgers won the 2017 World Series, like, no, we didn't. We didn't win it.
Right.
But it's like we were cheated, yeah. But it's like it was just
right, because
I wouldn't want that World Series
even if
win.
because even if the governing body of Major League Baseball decide to overturn the result and say, okay, we're going to give since the Astros cheated, we're going to give that title to the Dodgers. It's just like no one wants to win it that way. No one wants no one wants the title like that.
Exactly, yeah.